All right, to start off with the 2030 Advanced 3D Modeling Architecture class, we're going to spend a couple of weeks doing site plans, a couple of different um, methods of doing site plans. And this first one, I am giving you a few files, one of which is an Excel spreadsheet. It's a point file from a project that I used several years ago. And it's a bunch of X, Y coordinates here and an elevation. And if you open the file to look at it, and then it has identifiers here, which I use these. It worked great. The project that I was using it in, then I did not take it into Revit, uh, something else. Uh, but now the identifiers don't they don't work in Revit. Anyway, what is column A is the X coordinate, B is the Y coordinate, and Z is an elevation, or column C is Z. It's an elevation. And this is what we're going to create right here. Now, there's two different ways that we're working with this, uh, and the one that I'm going to show you in this video and that we're going to work on this week would be like if we're doing an overall scheme for a neighborhood area. And so what we're doing here is we're creating our site, and then we're inserting the houses into it via a link, a Revit link. That way we can manipulate these houses easier. We can move them around, raise them and lower them, rotate them, move them a lot easier. And our land is what's static, is staying in place. Okay, the kind of the other way, if you're dealing with a single structure, is you start with your building file and then you link or insert your site plan into it. So we're kind of doing the reverse of that because we want to concentrate on the site as opposed to the individual houses. So this is what you're going to end up with. So let's get started with our first site plan project here. And if I'm having to redo these videos because of the changes in the software over the last couple of years. So if you see some things that look a little bit different, it's because part of the videos were made 4 or 5 years ago, and part of them are made now, or now in 2025. So there might be a few differences in the way things look, but we'll roll with it. So we want to start a new project with our small d default template. And we're going to go to the site level. All right, there we go. And we're going to go massing and site. And we're going to go topo solid. Oops. Wait a minute. Got to back up. Create from import. And what we're going to do is we're going to import an Excel spreadsheet file, a CSV file. And let me open it to show you what it looks like. Just saved it over on my desktop, but I didn't see it right there. So let me open that. And what if you've not messed with these before, it's just basically a spreadsheet of data points. And in this one, we've got an X coordinate in the first column, a Y coordinate in the second column, and a Z coordinate in the third column, Z being the elevation. Okay, and then the fourth column was a description of the points, which I use this for the project in the Civil 3D drawing class, so it works in that class. In Revit, the point descriptions don't matter.
All right, and so we're going to use this one as x, y coordinates. In the other class, we use it differently, and it gives a different look. But that's what it is. Okay, so if you're going to import one in the future, you need to look at the file and confirm is column A X, is column A Y, which columns are what. So you need to confirm that before you try to import them. So you're going to download that, save it somewhere, and we're going to go create from CSV, and we're going to browse and find it. I saved this one on the desktop right there. Revit test. And you need to know if your points file is a units, and this one is in feet, so that's something that you'll need to make sure of. So we'll go OK. All right, and so now it's created our topo solid, and this one's it's different from the way things used to be in Revit in that it's now a solid. And we used this back in the I don't know 1131 class. I think is where we did it. 1129 maybe. So we've done topo solids a little bit in the past. And of course, it's all based on the survey point there. So we zoom out. There it is, right there. Now, just to make things easier for us, we need to move our elevation markers to either side of the solid. And I found the best way to do this is to select it and then just use the arrow keys instead of trying to drag it with your mouse. I mean, you can try it both ways. And so I'm going to move these, and then I'm going to trim the video out so that you're not watching me move all of these around, and then we'll come back once I've got them all moved. Okay, so I got those moved, and it's not that we're going to be doing the elevation views, so not that critical to us. But let's turn on our crop region so that we can see what that is. Okay, so that includes everything that we've got there. All right, so we've created this topo solid, and oh, I'm in 2D mode. I'm not in 3D mode. Uh, I was trying to rotate this thing a little bit so you can see it. And so here we've got you can see it. We'll let's go to shaded, so it's all green, and that makes it a little bit easier to see. We've got here the depression where we're going to put a lake in, and then there's like a dam across here, and then the stream running out. So there's a couple of different ways of doing a lake, if you will. But with a topo solid, it gets I don't need level one. It gets a little complicated. Um, we could do another topo solid on top of this topo solid and change the material type, and that's what we're going to end up doing. But we're going to kind of cheat it a little bit. You end up with two topo solids occupying the same space. So if you need the grading tools that are available in Revit for quantities and reportings and things like that, you can't do that. It gets really complicated. Another way is you can create a floor and assign it the lake material and then put a floor in. Okay. That's kind of an unusual way of doing it, but then you don't get conflict between two topo solids interfering with each other. So just so we can see what we're dealing with, let's put in our contour labels. So we'll go label contours, and I'm going to draw a line across here. zoom in and take a look at those. Okay, and so you see they're all numbered in 1 foot increments. And you notice the heavy lines are the intermediate contour lines, so at every 5 feet. And you know, we can certainly edit those, you know, if we we want to, but I'm fine with leaving them like that. And we're going to make our lake level at 99.5 feet. And we could put in we could create a level. I don't think that it's going to help us that much. I'm going to try it without it. So what we're going to do, and I know that this heavy line here is the outside. And so we're going to create a topo solid and put it at 99.5 feet. But what we're going to draw is going to be outside of the 100-foot elevation. And so that way we know that it's going to go into the soil, the way we want it to. So we're going to go create a new topo solid from a sketch. And we have to draw this because we can't pick lines will not work on contour lines. So we're going to have to sketch. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to start here just outside of the 100, and it doesn't have to be a beautiful, complicated sketch. It just has to remain outside of the 100 contours. And then I come back and close that loop. And as you can see, I went around this kind of low flat spot up here. Came out around there. And in a situation like this, rounding your edges doesn't do any good because it's just going to go into the existing topo solid. All right. So we'll click OK. Well, before we do that, let's change our material. And there may be a water here already. If not, we'll have to create that. Yeah, this is a brand new file, so water's there. So we bring that in. I'm going to go edit type and edit the structure. And let's look at the material. This is the water that was in here, and it's just a color. Okay. So if I do a search for water, and if you don't have your other material library showing, you'll have to expand that. So we'll do a search for water. And there should be yeah. So that's the one I want there. So let's add it to our material library. We'll go keep both. See, it gave it water 1. And see, this one is more graphic, which if you're going to do renderings, that's good. You want that. We're not going to render this, so either one of these would be sufficient, but I'm going to show you some things on this one. Anyway, so here on the graphics, it's just a gray color. Let's go ahead and just pick a blue. Make it kind of look blue, and we'll go to Appearance. And this is the bitmap that of the image that it shows. And if you expand the water drop down here, under Type, we've got a few different types of graphics. Okay. So let's just go with Pond Lake. And, wave height is just the bumpiness of the graphic. We're not changing we don't have to change any of that. And so we'll leave it like with that right there, and we'll go OK. We'll leave it at 3 feet for right now. And we'll go OK and OK. And now then we'll finish our edit. And if we go to shaded, whoops, oh, I know what happened. I didn't I didn't give that thing an elevation, so it's down here in the bottom. So let's select it, and here we'll go 99.5 feet. And topo solids overlap, so that's okay. And there's my water. And you see it follows whatever the topo solid contour is at 99.5 feet. Okay, so now then to show you something else, let's go back to the site plan and let's put a section view in that goes across the lake. And we'll go to view, shaded. Okay, so this right here is our topo solid, but it's still got dirt in the bottom of it there. So let's go back in, edit type. Graphics. Weird. It didn't change it. I don't know what happened with that. Oh, because when I did it previously, it corrected that. But here you can see the intersection and the conflict between those two. So if we were to select that and change our thickness of it, there's no need to make it full depth, you know, of 10 feet deep or whatever to fill the lake fully. Because all we're really concerned about is our view here and maybe on a site plan like this so you can see the lake. Okay, so let me pause this one and this video.